Listen, if you've been under a rock for the last couple of days, let me drop something for you. Anthropic, one of the most powerful AI companies on the planet, you know, the one that recently just told the government they wasn't going to give them access to the whole platform so they can do what they do, right? Again, just told us something that most people in the tech world completely skip past. They said AI is advancing faster than society can adapt. They're advancing faster than our schools, faster than our laws, faster than most businesses out here right now. And here's what nobody's talking about. They're right. And I hate to be the burden of bad news, but it's true. For a person who's an AI guy, who's a tech guy, you sit back and you watch everything that's happening. Now, you have the conspiracy theorists that have literally come out and say, it's going to take over. Robot, this, that. Might be true. But here's the thing that nobody understands. See, the real danger isn't in the robots. It's not in the automation. It's not even in the job losses. See, the real danger that most of the entrepreneurs are about to find out is they're going to become invincible. And because they're so blinded to the fact, because everybody has these conspiracy theories, they're not even going to see it coming. Listen, when the internet came out, the world changed. When electric cars came out, the world changed. So what I need you to do right now, stay with me, because what I'm about to break down in this video could be the most important strategic conversation we're going to have all year. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Anthony Porter. I am a media entrepreneur and founder of the Media Leverage Report blog. It's a weekly blog built for entrepreneurs who want to use AI, who want to use media and their content systems to build influence, income, and build their own ownership. See, I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to hype you up either. What I'm here to do is break it down in layman's terms so you can understand. I'm here to be straight with you. See, I'm here to be the way that I wish somebody was straight with me early in my entrepreneur journey. See, what Anthropic said, now that truly does matter, but not because AI is going to take over your job. That's not why it matters. It matters because the window to build the kind of attention and authority that makes you uncuttable, the window to build the kind of attention and authority that makes you uncuttable is closing faster than most people realize. Now, most coaches, most consultants, and most creators, and even most business owners, you should really pay attention to this video, because guess what? This video is specifically directed to you. See, the people who understand what I'm about to share are going to be positioned very differently 3 years from now. So if you really want to get with it, let me show you what I mean. Let me talk to you for a second. Here's the reality. And the reality that most entrepreneurs are living in right now. They're working harder than ever, positioning themselves, like trying to get to the top. They're trying to break the news as fast as they can, posting more, recording more, launching more, but they're getting the less of returns. See, everybody can say that they are a business owner. Everybody has that niche that they tend to want to be in. I took the swerve because with AI here, the old way over here, it's time that we take back what I started learning in the very beginning. That's our time. That's our money, which is our financial freedom. Build our own, right? If you pay attention, folk are building their own leverage. And here's why. The game done changed, but you still have some out here playing by the old rules. For instance, a lot of people play Uno, but a lot of people don't have the stomach to play Uno No Mercy, okay? And that's what's going on right now. See, most entrepreneurs treat content like it's a chore. They create when they feel like it. They post when it's convenient. They show up inconsistently and wonder why the algorithm doesn't love them. But here's what's really happening. AI just made this whole thing 1,000 times easier. And they made it easier to create the content that you want to create. Now, I guarantee you, somebody's going to be out there on a binge talking about AI is taking over the world and AI is doing this and AI is going to do that. Listen, until that time comes, you should be out here trying to figure out how you're going to get money instead of boosting everybody who posts these videos, their attention rate. So every time I post one and somebody comes on, the algorithm is engaged, and I appreciate that. But see, if AI can do this, that means the supply of content really did over explode overnight. I mean, it took off. But the question is not the content over exploding overnight. It's how do you position yourself? What leverage do you have? Now think about that. Every niche, every platform, every feed was flooded. When people started figuring out Claude co-working, Claude code, Claude design, and then you had those who came into effect like ChatGPT, Gemini, the three main dominant ones, Manus, Perplexity, all of them started fixing things. They started really tying in, honing in on everything that everybody was doing. And it became so beautiful in my eyes because you got to think, every time something changes in the world, people get nervous. Think about it. When you first was growing up, if you were in my age range, you had albums, you had 45s with the little yellow plastic piece that sat in the middle so it could play on the stereo component set. Then it went from that to cassette tapes, from cassette tapes in the component player to the Walkmans. The Walkman went to the CD. CD went to the iPad, not the iPad, but the iPod. Now you just get it on your phone. And it's the same with movies. Movies was black and white. Then they became color. Then they became VHS films. Then they became DVDs. Then they became Ultra AD. Then they became 4K, Blu-ray. Now you just pick your phone up and you can watch anything on your phone now. Technology's changed. But what's happening now is people are flooding platforms, not with bad content. It's just good enough to be content that you can watch. People have AI-generated blog posts that sound pretty solid. AI-generated emails that hit right at that emotional pain point. AI-generated social media posts that look so professional, you swore them down. It took him 2 or 3 hours just to make that. So what happens to the human entrepreneurs who still treating their content like it's the afterthought? Well, it's like one of those WWE wrestling matches. They get buried. You ever notice how one day you see a wrestler on TV, then the next day you don't see him, and then you turn around and you go to your email or you go to YouTube and they've been fired? What? They was just on TV. Not because the algorithm hates them, not because WWE hates them, they trimmed the fat. But with AI coming in, algorithm decided that because they look exactly alike, it was noise. And this is what Anthropic is actually warning us about. They're not just talking about the technology. They're talking about the fact that the gap between those who adapt and those who don't is about to become a canyon. See, most people still haven't figured this out. The entrepreneurs who were already struggling to stand out, they're going to struggle just as hard to get exposed even more with AI because they don't want to learn it. Everybody's stubborn, man. People are stubborn. And you don't understand how stubborn you are until you get into a situation. But here's where it gets dangerous. You know, when it gets dangerous, right? See, the ones who think they're safe because they've been doing content for a while, they might be the ones in the most danger. See, because doing what you've always done in a world that is rapidly, fundamentally changing is not a strategy. It's just a slow fade. So you can't just sit there and keep doing the exact same thing and think you're going to keep blasting out. Here's the reason why I say that, because I have a couple mentors that I follow, people who I love to watch content and tap into some of their shows or some of their live events. Russell Brunson, Marquell Russell. 5 years ago, Russell Brunson held a live event. He always talks about how he became the person he is because his first time doing a live event, he was a stale piece of bread on stage. Now, he's bootstrapping and talking about how he's using AI to do this and do that and cut the fat. See, here's what AI is really doing. And we're going to talk about it, but here's what AI is really doing. AI is turning people with teams of 50 and 100 people into a team of 2, maybe 5. So with that being said, let's talk about what really is changing, because it isn't bad news. It's not all bad news. Matter of fact, it's not even close. After sitting down and listening to the video, and I watched the video on Twitter where they was walking through how to use the prompts correctly, because a lot of people are using it like it's just, hey, Google, hey this, hey that. No. See, the AI era didn't kill the entrepreneur. It killed the anonymous one. The ones who don't want to make the shift, the ones who don't want to adapt. And that shift is what I want you to lock in on. For the last decade, the competitive advantage in the business was a skill. If you were the best coach of Russell Brunson, a Dean Graziosi, a Tony Robbins, a Amy Porterfield, a Pat Flynn, a Marquell Russell, a David Sands, E.T. Eric Thomas, if you was one of these people who's living at the top of the upper echelon, if you was the best consultant, if you was the best speaker, you had the edge. In the AI era, the skill is still important, but it's no longer sufficient because AI can approximate that skill. It can literally take right now and produce a pretty solid business plan, a decent marketing strategy, and a passable email sequence like none other. What AI can't do, guess what? What it will never be able to do is be you. You can clone yourself, but it will never be you. It can't replicate your story. It can't replicate what you've lived through your experiences. It can't replicate the trust that you've built when someone watches your videos. When you show up consistently, when you speak their language, when you demonstrate that you understand their world, it can't replicate that. See, that's where I come in because, see, that's the media. That's the leverage. That's the asset most entrepreneurs are still sleeping on. This is why I built the Media Leverage Report around this thesis. Media is the new leverage. Think about it. We consume way more media than anything. You can listen to your books. You can watch your books. You can literally be in your car driving, listen to Audible, and somebody in the passenger seat to have the headphones on, and they're watching, they're reading, and it changes the pages for them. But see, it's not doing this because it's trendy. No. Because in a world drowning in AI-generated content, the human who owns an audience owns the most defensible asset in a business. Now think about this. What an audience actually is people who've decided to pay attention to you specifically, not to a product and not to a brand logo, to you, your perspective, your voice, all the frameworks that you can kick out. See, they can't be automated. They can't be replicated, and they can't be disrupted. And here's the connection nobody's making clearly enough. When Anthropic says AI is moving faster than society can adapt, they're inadvertently telling you that the person who slows down to build real trust with a real audience is going to win, because everyone is running toward speed, and speed without direction is just an expensive piece of noise. So real quick, if you want to go deeper on this, I break this down along with other strategies each week in the Media Leverage Report. It's free, it's tactical, it's built for people who are serious, and I do mean serious about this. The link will be down in the description, man. All right, so listen, let's get tactical, because I want you to just feel inspired. I need you to leave this video with an actual system. Here's what I call the media leverage stack. It's 4 layers. It's a model for building an AI-proof business within 24 months. If you think you're gonna get on here and start blowing this out the water in 30 days, because that's what some of the gurus will tell you, you're sadly mistaken. All right, so here's what I need to do. I want you to do this. Let's talk about layer number 1, your point of view. See, this is where most entrepreneurs are the weakest and where AI is the most dangerous. If you don't have a clear, defined, ownable point of view, AI will produce content that sounds just like you. Because if you sound like everyone else, you are everyone else. Your point of view is what we call your proprietary lens on the industry. It's not just for you. It's just not what you teach. It's how you see the world. For me, the lens is media, and that's the new leverage. Everything I teach, every video I'm going to make, every single situation I put in my newsletter issues I write, it runs through that lens. What's your lens? That's your first assignment. Not a niche, not a target audience, not a perspective, but I want you to be specific on your perspective on how your space actually works. Number 2, your anchor content. Once you get your point of view, you need to have an anchor, a primary content format where you go deep, where you teach, where you demonstrate, and you build trust over time. For most entrepreneurs I work with, this is a podcast, a YouTube channel, or a newsletter. Not all 3 point, mastered and then distributed. The mistake that most of us make or have made is spending too much time spreading our wings and being thin across all platforms before they even go deep into any of them. Choose one anchor, commit to 90 days, build that depth. The algorithm will follow and allow for the trust. All right. Layer number 3, your list. If you don't know who Russell Brunson is, you should understand this. He's always said that the money is in the list. Now, this is non-negotiable. An audience that you rent is through social media following. That's not leverage. You don't actually own it. A list is with your email, your newsletter, your subscribers, your SMSs. That's leverage you control. When Anthropic warns you about AI moving faster than society can adapt, that's what they're, indirectly telling you, every entrepreneur, about this. The platforms will change. The algorithms change. The tools change. What doesn't change is the access to the people who trust you. Build it, protect it, and feed it constantly. And then number 4, we need to talk about your monetization bridge. Here's what most creators leave money on that table. And if you standing around right now and you talking about you not in it for the money, you're sadly mistaken, because we know you are. They build an audience, they build a list, and then they sell them off to like strangers. The monetization bridge is the system that converts trust into transactions, naturally, consistently, without feeling salesy. This looks like this: free content that teaches you your point of view, a newsletter that deepens the relationship weekly. For me, it's the Media Leverage blog, a signature offer that solves a specific problem your audience keeps asking about, and a simple funnel that moves people from awareness to conversions. That's it. That's the whole game. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive, nothing out of reach. But it requires intentional ability. It requires showing up with a purpose and not just posting for the algorithm. Stay with me, because this next part, this matters. The bigger version, the bigger vision is what you need to really be looking into. I want you to take and zoom out for just a second. And when I say zoom out, I mean I want you to think hard, because I think there's something deeper happening here that Anthropic's warning us about and they're pointing to, even if they didn't intend to. See, we're living right now through a moment where the gap between visibility and invisibility is about to become permanent, not because of talent, not because of the connections. No. And it's definitely not because of luck, but because of media. The entrepreneurs who build an audience, who show up, who document their journey, who teach what they know, who own their platforms, those people are building something AI can't touch. They're building relationships at a scale. And I want you to understand something. This isn't just about business strategy. This is about survival. In a world where AI can produce an infinite amount of content, the most powerful thing you can do is be undeniable and irreplaceable as a human. Your story matters. Your failures matter. Your perspective definitely matters. The specific way you see the world, the path that you walked, that's just not your brand. That's your moat. The question Anthropic is actually forcing every entrepreneur to answer is this: when everything else gets automated, what are you? Not what do you do? Trust me, that ain't what they're talking about. Not what your niche does, but what are you? Because the ones who can answer that clearly built the media around the answer are the ones who are the next to be super efficient in the next decade. The audience should feel, I need to evolve and have the tools to do it. So again, I tell you, get ready, evolve. I know it hit different. So if it did hit different, go on and subscribe to the Media Leverage Report. That's your next move. Every week I'm dropping the systems. I'm dropping frameworks. I'm dropping real talks about building an AI era. This isn't surface level stuff. It's not. This is actual operating systems for building media power businesses that AI can't disrupt. The link's gonna be down below, and it's free. And if you know someone building a business right now who needs to hear this conversation, share the video with them, because people in your circle who understand what's happening, they're the ones who are going to make it, and they're the ones who will leave you behind. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.